What's up, guys? This is Teddy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This video, we're going to be talking about encapsulation in Java. So when you guys start working, what is going to happen is that you're going to be working on teams. You're going to be working on large code bases. And what happens is that you're using other people's code. Code is changing, and you can oftentimes use code in ways that were not intended. And in order to combat this, what people have came up with is encapsulation. So encapsulation, you're hiding information from people. Many times that has almost like security connotations, like you're hiding, information from people to prevent people from doing nefarious activities. But what it more likely is you're protecting people from themselves. You're protecting people from your code, as bad as that sounds. So the most common way that we do that is we use this private and public keyword. And if you've been just fooling around with Java for any amount of time, you've probably seen this on a class. You see public class, and you see private, and you see all of these access modifiers, as they're sometimes called, all over the place. You see them on methods, you see them on properties, but you may not know exactly why they're there, and that reason is for data hiding. And a good example of when you would do or use data hiding is just in this case right here. So in encapsulation, one of the rules is that you want to make your properties private, and you want to add something that is called a getter or a setter. We'll talk about that here in a second, but let's just focus on private and public. So if I were to new this up and actually create this class test encap class that I made, and then I tried to access the var, it would not let me. I would get a red squiggly line of death if I tried to do this, because this is private right here. Private means that you cannot use it outside of your class. If I was within the class, let's just say I was actually using this keyword within the class and this was up here inside of there somehow, that would make it perfectly fine because it's private. It's within the class. Public is all bets, or just do whatever you want. Public is use it throughout the code base however you want to. Private means that you can only use it in the class. That is going to be the easiest, but we also take it a step further. And this is when you see getters and setters in software development. So let's just focus on this one. As I said before, making your properties public is a no-no. And we actually always make our properties private because we need to add something in order to access them called getters and setters. And you've probably seen this before. If you've taken, I guarantee you take another tutorial. So you generate a getter and setter, and you can automate this with an IntelliJ, which I'm going to show you guys here in a second. But the whole entire idea is that you want to make sure that this is what is called the single source of truth. Whenever you are manipulating this, you want to make sure that you are manipulating only this part right here, because you don't want this name to be being manipulated in other parts of your program, because it almost be like a bank account. You want to know that the number when you open your phone and look at your bank account, that is the number. You don't want 3 different bank account numbers all over the place that are constantly changing, because you have no real reference of what your bank account number is. Think about how confusing that would be. So we make the property private, and we set it so that you can only manipulate it through these things called getters and setters. And that is the whole entire reason for getters and setters in every other single language, is so that this variable just isn't floating around all over in your code and being changed and manipulated in all different places, and the data can be hidden and used in a way that it is intended to be. Okay, so let's take a class that does not have any encapsulation and does not have good coding standards. Let's slowly add encapsulation to it and make it so that it is something that we can really be proud of. So we're going to go in here, and I'm just going to create a regular Pokemon class. And go ahead, generate that. And remember what I told you, that you can have this public property, you can have it so that it has a public modifier, but it is seen as a bad thing. You don't want to have it so that your public string and name will be able to be accessed within the main class. So if I go in here and I'll show it to you, you go Pokemon is equal to Pokemon or new Pokemon, just like that. And I go down here. I can very well access this if I want to. There's nothing stopping me. The only thing that's stopping me is that we are in the main function and I have to make this a statement like that, but you could totally run this if you wanted to. But once again, that's not what we want to do. What we really want to do is we want to make this private and add getters and setters. So if you see private here, watch what happens. And this is kind of the beauty of type checking and object-oriented programming and IntelliJ. It lets us know that when we made this private, we actually broke a piece of code right here. So we go here and we just can't modify. There's no way. So how do we get around this? Well, we add getters and setters because that is by convention. So the best way to do it, and you could do this by hand, I would not recommend that because it would be a total waste of time, because you can just automate this. You right click, you go down to generate, and you go getter and setter, and it's gonna do all of this for you. So we go down, we go okay, and instead of going into here and actually just typing in Pokemon.name, what we do is we go for the first one. First, we need to set it. And setting just means making it so that this part right here actually has a value. That's all that a setter really is. And I'm just going to set it to good old-fashioned Squirtle, just like that. Squirtle is everybody's favorite Pokemon. And then I want to actually get this information back. So the way that I do that, and we want to look at it too, so I'm just going to do a console log. So I just typed in SOUT, go in there like that, and then go Pokemon.getName, and it will hopefully get the name for us. And we don't actually pass anything in because we're not setting anything. So I'm going to go up here, hit the green button, and if you look at that, we have the value Squirtle. We've officially added encapsulation to our class, and we are following information hiding standards. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and as always, thank you for watching.